the surface of the moon than the floor of the sea. The names Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian were formally accepted worldwide in 1845. While the words ocean and sea are used interchangeably, a sea is technically a small body of salt water that is part of a larger ocean. 97% of Earth's water is contained in the oceans. All life on Earth began in the ocean. The effects of human pollution and overfishing have dramatically changed the world's oceans over the past 100 years. In his work, Meteorology, the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle discusses and refutes several popular theories about the oceans, such as the belief that someday the oceans will all dry up, or that the seas were a sort of natural sweat produced by the earth when heated by the sun. The Greek god of the sea was Poseidon, who became Neptune in the Roman tradition. This aquatic overlord wielded a trident and summoned storms to punish or warn human beings. Legal tradition holds that the oceans are not subject to private or national dominion or ownership. The Roman doctrine Mare Liberum, freedom of the seas, holds that the seas belong to all, and this has given rise to the four freedoms of the sea: freedom of navigation, fishing, laying of cables and pipelines, and overflight. Oceanography is the study of the world's oceans. It includes aspects of geography, physics, chemistry, biology, geology, and meteorology. By contrast, hydrography is the study of navigable waters and their physical characteristics. Oceanographers generally divide the world ocean into three major oceans: Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian. Some add a fourth, the Arctic. In 1998, Benoit Lecomte became the first man to swim across the Atlantic Ocean without a kickboard. He swam an average of 8 hours a day for 73 days, resting and eating on a boat in between swims. In 2016, he announced plans to swim the Pacific. The ocean is the main driver of the planet's weather cycles, acting alternately like a heater and air conditioner. Many sea plants and animals are bioluminescent, which means they produce light chemically within their bodies. An average liter of seawater contains 38,000 different species of microbial life. The high seas have seen their fair share of crime and violence. Piracy goes back to the ancient world, but the Caribbean pirates of the 16th and 17th centuries are perhaps the most iconic. Modern oceanography is considered to have begun in 1872, when HMS Challenger made a grand tour of the world's oceans on a 3.5-year voyage. Distances on the ocean are measured in nautical miles, which are about 1.15 times the length of a regular mile. On average, the water in the ocean is 3.5% salt. There's a lot more than just water in the ocean. Each cubic mile of seawater contains approximately 165 million tons of dissolved solid material, from plant and animal life to geologic material. Marine biologists have so far discovered 17,000 species thriving in the ocean depths, living entirely without sunlight, receiving energy from underwater thermal vents. Despite the incredible amount of research done on the coastal seas, it's still unknown how many species live in these shallow waters. Estimates vary from 178,000 to 10 million. Approximately 15% of the high-quality protein humans eat comes from the ocean. This number is far higher in many parts of Asia, where fish and other seafood make up a larger part of people's diet. Historically, ocean depths were measured by lowering ropes with weights attached. Echo-sounding technology was first used in 1927. The Pacific Ocean is the world's deepest, and the Arctic is the shallowest. Spanish explorer Ferdinand Magellan led an expedition of 5 ships in an attempt to discover a western sea route to the Spice Islands. 4 of the 5 ships were lost, and Magellan himself was killed, but one ship returned home after 3 years, making it the first vessel to sail all the way around the world. The giant squid was long believed to be a creature of myth. However, Japanese photographers captured a live giant squid on film for the first time in 2004. The Persian Emperor Xerxes, who reigned from 486 to 465 BC, reportedly had his soldiers whip the sea while insulting it after a wave destroyed a bridge his army was constructing. Nearly 3 billion, or almost 50% of the global population, depend on the ocean for their livelihood. Marine fisheries alone provide 57 million jobs globally. In 1927, aviator Charles Lindbergh made the first successful solo run, non-stop flight over the Atlantic Ocean. The strong and dangerous currents that sometimes pull people out to sea are called rip currents. The best way to escape the grip of a rip current is to swim parallel to the shore or diagonally away from the current, not directly against it. A common feature of many mythological traditions is a massive flood held to have happened in the early days of the world. Such floods appear in Sumerian, Jewish, Egyptian, Norse, Babylonian, and Hindu mythology. The ocean has a romantic quality that humans are uniquely drawn to. Many people throughout history have felt called to a life at sea, and philosophers, poets, and artists have often turned to it as a subject for aesthetic contemplation. Jacques-Yves Cousteau and Emile Gagnon invented the scuba regulator in 1942, which allowed for breathing underwater and opened up new vistas for ocean exploration. In the popular children's book, The 5 Chinese Brothers, one of the brothers has the amazing ability to hold the entire ocean in his mouth. The ocean is often served as a sort of communal garbage can for human beings. One recent example of this is the dumping of 777,000 tons of water contaminated by radioactive tritium by the Fukushima power plant in Japan in 2017. Alright, well that's 50 ocean facts. I have 50 more, but I'll save that for another video because I have to go back to